Hello and welcome to another edition of Goa 365's Story Behind the Story. But this is an edition with a twist. Now the code of conduct is supposed to be coming in any time. So we are having a small discussion on what our research partners have been doing as far as data collection and trying to collate that data on the ground. And with all the jumping around, with all the parties that are in the fray today, and besides the BJP, the other parties not having really finalized who is going to stand against whom, it's a very interesting election. I would like to introduce our panel to you. To my left is Viraj Naik. He is our research and data partner. Next to him, Gurudas Sawal, senior journalist. And after that, Ashley Rosario, senior journalist. Guys, welcome to our show. Now, Viraj, I would start off with you. Obviously, can you give us a small sort of a summary of what exactly we have found on the ground? A disclaimer right in the beginning, we really don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. This is as of today. So, Viraj, please continue.
I'm from GTS Analytics. We are a company based in Goa specializing in market research and on-field surveys. Presenting before you the second round of our Goa election survey. As Glenn said, we had a very difficult time in doing this survey at the end of December because we had to redo a few constituencies due to a lot of candidates switching from one party to the other and prospective candidates moving to another party. So we have a sample size of around 26,000 for this survey. Presenting before you the results of the survey. Okay, so let's start with the vote share. So what we see here is the vote share that we are predicting based on this survey and the vote share that was there in 2017 when the elections last happened. So BJP's vote share is around the similar mark. Congress vote share seems to have gone down. Third is AAP, where the vote share has gone up. And then there are new entrants like TMC, RG, which are also eating a pie of the anti-BJP votes, so to say. And this is how the picture pans out. Obviously, the independents and others have gone down a little because there are more parties which have come in and they are getting that additional vote share. So this is how it appears. Let's move on to the seats predictions. Okay, so we are expecting seats to be around 17 to 20 for the BJP and 9 to 12 for the Congress. Now, interesting part is the 9 to 13 which is for the others, comprising of TMC, AAP, MGP and Goa Forward and the other small independents and other parties which are there in the fray. So if we look at this figure, this is something similar to 2017, but Congress has gone down and BJP seems to have come up. This is also because of the recent developments that have happened, like Praveen Allekar, who was in our survey was winning on a MGP ticket, has switched to BJP. Rohan Khaunte winning as an independent switched to BJP. Saligaon, there was Jayesh Salgaonkar, who seemed to have the lead, again switched to BJP. Daji Sarkar, who had contested as an independent last time around, got good number of votes, again joined BJP. So these places BJP seem to have added seats to their tally, increased their chances. There's Ravi Naik also who has joined in, and there are Premen Sheth, and there are one or two guys which have strengthened them. As far as the Congress is concerned, there have been defections. Reginald, which was a sure seat for Congress, has switched to TMC, so their seat is going down by one. Rohan Khaunte was likely to join Congress, they couldn't get him, so that has hurt them a little, and their seat share, their seat prediction is going down compared to what was there in 2017. Now there is a big chunk of others which is present, which mainly compromises of AAP, TMC and MGP, and Goa Forward has one or two seats coming to their tally. So it is very interesting in the sense that the anti-BJP vote, how it pans out, will decide the outcome, most probably will decide the outcome of this coming election.
Yeah, thanks Viraj. Now bringing it back to some sort of logic. Gurdas Bab,
Yeah.
now this Viraj has put up these figures. I don't know how far we can agree or disagree with these figures. But before we agree or disagree, before we discuss on that agreeing or disagreeing, let us look at North Goa.
Yeah.
North Goa as a whole. Now, North Goa, one of the dominant figures in North Goa is the 17-year Chief Minister, I don't know, 5-6 time Chief Minister, Pratap Singh Rane.
Yeah.
So, Tinga, last time there was an issue. So, most probably, Vishwajit Rane and his wife are likely to contest from those 2 seats.
Yeah.
However, before I lay it open to you, do you think that the BJP will give a husband and wife duo ticket, or from what, like what you say, as the little birdie says, he might stand on one, he's got that Satari Mocha. So we'll start from there and then we'll do Bardes and the general.
Most important thing is that if Dr. Divya Rane does not get a ticket, then Vishwajit Rane will not be in BJP.
Okay.
What I feel.
100%.
100%. And then he will contest from our Pariya constituency. And he will put in his wife in वाळपय.
So ते जिंकताले म्हणटा तू दोन्ही सीट येतले.
वाळपयची सध्याची जे पोझिशन आहा पळय, because Senior Rane has already announced unofficially that he is not interested in contesting again. And therefore, as it is goes, Sattari is in control of Vishwajit Rane now. And whatever party he could make, even me may also go as Sattari Yuva Morcha is there. He already registered.
Registered.
So he may contest one that if BJP refused to give ticket to Dr. Divya, then he will leave the party. Or as we see in Bardes, I am being told by some BJP leaders that BJP leaders have agreed to contest Delilah Lobo as an independent from Shivoli. If Michael Lobo is allowed on BJP and his wife as an independent, then similar this thing will work in Varpai also, Sattari. So I think Sattari, whichever party he contests, he will win both the seats.
You're pretty sure about it?
Yeah.
What about Bardes? Bardes आता सगळे माचो खतखते कशे जाला न्हू?
आता आमचो मायकल लोबो कितें घेता पळय भुमिका, ते अजून काय स्पष्ट जावना.
But तेजो मनीस केदार नायक has already
Joined Congress.
Yes.
Yeah, but we cannot go for sure that. And second thing that he has announced that some Bardes together or something like that, together for Bardes something, where he will supervise 6 constituencies except Parvari. Parvari is not interfering. But other constituencies he want to support. That means he must have worked out some plans. And unless he open that plan, we cannot say anything. It all depends. If he contests from BJP, his wife is allowed to contest as an independent from Shivoli, then there is no problem. So if she is not allowed, or if she contests, then they may say you are not getting ticket to Michael Lobo. So that depends. Everything depends on his this stand. Whether he leaves party BJP. Other day he has said that he has never said that he will leave BJP party. So he himself is in the confused mind. Everything depends on Michael Lobo's stand.
Actually, what do you think of this now?
Of what? Of the Sattari one? Or
No,
the
Sattari, what about Bardes? This is more interesting than Sattari, the Bardes issue.
I think we are giving too much of importance to individual politicians.
Okay.
There is a drastic impact that has happened to voter psychology or to citizen psychology. I'm not even going to say voter psychology, to citizen psychology because of the pandemic. I am not willing to believe, although as a journalist I should be believing that, but I am not willing to believe that everything of our life has been impacted by the pandemic, but politics is not impacted. How can it be?
Absolutely.
I mean, how can this pandemic not impact the politics and the voter psychology or the citizen psychology? I mean, it has affected the citizens' thinking in almost every other sector. There is no sector that has got unaffected by the pandemic. how come we journalists and analysts are analyzing politics the same way as we analyzed it 5 years ago? The factor of the pandemic impact on the politics is what is going to increase the surprise quotient of this election. The electorate is going to throw up a surprise.
Okay,
Analysis,
let me just
discussion.
interrupt you. Let me just interrupt. No, I want to come back to you on this. See, the issue is now these figures that have been thrown up, and are on screen. This has not been taken into account. Pandemic has not been taken into account. That people are going to speak against the BJP, scared to speak against the BJP. Not
Obviously.
like nobody is going to talk against Michael in Kalagut, or they're not. So the issue is that, and there is always this. When I get back to Viraj will agree. 10 to 15% which went to Congress last time, and before that they had gone to BJP. Today, where are they going? So actually, that.
So another point I would add to what I have already said is, okay, we had the second wave in May.
Yes.
People were badly affected.
Yes.
It impacted the whole anti-incumbency factor, increased because of that. And then the time passed. We had a fantastic. You saw Baga and Morji and Arambol. We had a fantastic Christmas and New Year. People made money. Everybody was happy. But now another wave is coming in.
Come.
So again, the impact of the pandemic and what effect it will have on electoral politics and the voter psychology and the citizen psychology is going to be more than what it would have otherwise happened. So I think whatever the surveys, of course this is all a science, I know that. Cephalology and conducting surveys and doing that has its own science in it and has a level of accuracy in it, no doubt. But you know, I think I read it somewhere. I think NSDS had a survey done of the previous election. You know, until the whole process begins, until and unless people get a picture of what is the Bharatiya Janata Party's strategy and the profile of their candidates in 30-40 seats. Congress, what is their strategy and what is the profile of their candidates in 30-40 seats? Same way AAP and the others. What is their profile? What is their strategy? What are they offering? Until this picture comes up, more than 50% of the electorate does not make up its mind.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Okay.
But here I
Yeah.
don't agree with you.
Okay, Sang.
First thing that we saying of the pandemic, I had seen two meetings in Pedne. One meeting was called by Praveen Adlekar, other meeting was called by Rajan Kolkamakar. Both the meeting there were 6,000 or 7,000 people. There has been no change at all. Other day I saw a meeting in Panji, BJP meeting.
Yeah.
Crowd.
Super crowded.
So people are, that way, what you say, that they are not worried. Even yesterday evening we had some meeting in Parwari.
No.
There were
I'm not
hundreds of
saying.
people.
I'm not saying that they are not
Yeah.
worried about whether getting the thing or not, but the way people will vote, how they will vote. Now, for example, he says 6,000, 7,000 people were there, but
No, both
6,000,
side, huh?
but there were also 6,000, 7,000 people. Out of that, there will be a section that is not from the constituency. People, they have arranged people and brought there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possible.
So-
yeah, but okay. That
No,
part
let's
aside.
just-
Wait. That part aside. I'm coming back to you. But my point is that one thing I would agree, disagree. People are going to come for meetings, going from wherever they come, the karyakartas and from
Yeah,
whichever.
not worried about this.
Yeah, maybe today you see everybody is roaming without masks in Goa. But my issue is that. Are they going to vote the same way? Where that swing is going to vote? Now that, Viraj, I am going to put you on a spot. Forget, this is not a survey as such. This is a figures, discussion. So now that 10-15%, Viraj, where are they going? You tell me now, Viraj. Which is, in our winning margins are how much? 1,000, 1,500?
Yeah.
Winning margins are between 3 to 4% of the
And
vote
this
pool.
is 15% we are talking about. Where are they going? Now putting you on the spot.
So basically we see a shift. So if you look at the figures, last time AAP had around 6% of the votes. Now it looks like it will go to 10-11. So there's a 4% increase there. There's TMC which is taking around 7%. So that if you add that 4 and 7, it comes to around 11. Then there is RG. So that 15% seems to be going to AAP, TMC and the others. And that is badly affecting Congress to the extent of around 6% and others, because there are so many parties in the fray. I think very few independents will contest this time around. I mean, those who have a realistic chance of winning. So this shift, whether that 15% is shifting or whether 20% will shift or whether that 15% will come down to 10% by the time we have the actual elections, this is something which is going to be interesting, and that is going to define how many seats are won by Congress and the others, and then that is where the comparison will happen between BJP and the others, so that we come to know who's going to form the government. BJP's figures doesn't seem to be changing much now, and even after a few days their figures somehow seem to be remaining the same or not changing much, because their voter base is fixed. It is the opposition votes that people are fighting for, different parties are fighting for. So according to this is how it looks.
Okay, now even after the BJP party, the vote is around 30%.
Yeah.
It's reduced with anti-incumbency and all. It's reduced. The Congress, I think last time the Congress voter share was a little less, but the seats were more probably. But according to what we have always said, Congress always had a 35-40% vote share approximately. So actually now you have been there in the field, Gurudas Bhav also, but you have been in the field when the Congress vote share was around 40%, the BJP was around 28-20%. What do you feel that the Congress coming down to almost 20% vote share is gone to independents, to other things? What do you
Basically,
feel? Especially let's talk about Bardez, specifically about Bardez.
See, Bardez last time how many seats they won? The Congress.
How many seats?
They won TV.
They won TV.
Okay, they won TV.
Yes.
Purvaram was an
No,
independent,
Purvaram
supported by
Purvaram was an independent.
Backed by this.
Okay, so they didn't have a towering leader. See, earlier Congress, when it had that 35-40% vote share, Bardez, they had towering leaders. They had Dr. Willi, they had Dayanand Narvekar, who knew Bardez at the back of their hands, and they had a following across Bardez. Like something like what Michael is emerging now
In Bardez.
after doing 2 terms. He's not reached that level. I am not willing to agree that Michael has reached the level of understanding Bardez politically the way these 2 leaders understood in their heydays, your Narvekar and Willi. So in that sense, Congress doesn't have an anchor in Bardez. It doesn't have a leader.
So suppose if Michael goes to Congress, assuming or supposing, then will Congress have a leader in Bardez?
No, for the simple reason that it takes time. It's not that Michael comes into the Congress and he just, every Congress worker in Bardez is
Not
going to accept him as their leader. In his own constituency of Kalangut, I am sure 90% of the Congress worker base is going to revolt against him if he joins the Congress. Your Agnel, your Joseph, their new bloc president Benedict, they'll just desert the Congress if Michael is admitted to the Congress. So for Michael to emerge as the anchor for Congress, it will take time. It's not something that can happen overnight. So that is the reason why the Congress doesn't, across the taluka or across Goa have retained that vote share of its.
Gurudas Bhav?
What I feel is TMC Alapai and Aam Aadmi Party, both these parties are going to eat votes of Congress.
Yes.
BJP's vote will remain intact. So that's why some part 5%, 2%, 3% will go to TMC because they are newcomer. Aam Aadmi Party had done contest last election and people know him now. So they will get some little bit more votes. आणि ताका लागून काँग्रेसचे वोट कमी जाल्या. दॅट विल अफेक्ट काँग्रेस. But if Michael comes
To Congress.
yeah,
Okay.
then there is 1 month still for the voting and all that. We are expecting somewhere in February.
Mm.
So by that time, some Congress workers were opposing him now, not the leaders, but the normal workers, common people. They will support him. And last, as I know, last election, 2017, Michael had played a very important role in Saligaon and Shioli also. He was trying to do the same thing in Mapsa, but he could not succeed, even there was a by-election. But if Michael has some hold over now this all Kedar Naik and some people in Shivoli and his wife is there. And that's why he is doing a lot of work in both this constituency. And now he has
Mapsa
announced-
hold, yes, has got hold in
yeah,
Sudhir
and now
has
he has announced
openly
that he is
said.
going to work in 6 constituencies but under the banner of Bangladesh Together, something like that.
What 6 constituencies are these? Which are these?
Except Parwari,
All the rest.
all the rest constituencies he is going to work. And I think if he spends some little bit money, then he will be able to manage something.
Which Michael is never averse to spending money. Viraj, this has brought 6 seats less from our
Yeah.
Tell me
No,
if
so
you have
if you-
anything to add or subtract to
If you
what
analyze
Bharat was-
Bardez, BJP got 4 seats last time around.
Which are the 4?
7. So basically you had
One
sorry,
independent, 4 seats, 1 independent, 1 Congress.
1 Congress. I think they got 3
We go
seats.
for 2 seats.
Goa
Ah,
forward
go
got
Shivoli
forward
and
2 seats.
Saligaon.
Correct, correct.
Goa forward got 2 seats. Independent was 1 and Congress got 1 seat and BJP got 3. So now if you look at the current trend as per our survey, BJP is leading in almost all the seats. They have a very good chance of winning. Except, very good chance of winning. Now, Porvorim is sure, so that is 1 seat which is sure for BJP. If you analyze the others, they have a very good chance of winning there. And currently, Congress is not there in the picture. Even not even in a single seat, they are in the picture. There is TMC and AAP in Aldona and TV. Apart from that, Congress is non-existent. Now, if
But
Michael
if-
joins,
That's
Ah,
the
that's what I'm saying.
point is that.
then the seat which is Kalangut, which goes to BJP because of Michael, that might change. He might be able to change maybe 1 or 2 more seats. Whether he will be able to do it is what remains to be seen. So if that happens, then the tally could change a little. Now, according to our survey, Delilah Lobo in Shiolim hasn't got that much hold, but if she is able to consolidate the opposition votes, only then she can come into the picture, because Shioli is traditionally a BJP constituency. It has never gone to the Congress. It was with MGP, then with BJP, and BJP has a good amount of voter base there. If you look at Saligaon, again a similar situation wherein since Jayesh has joined BJP, there's no candidate in the opposition who's left there. Kedar Naik, who's joined the Congress, is from the BJP. Whether Congress, like Ashley said, whether Congress Karyakartas will accept him, whether they will vote for him, remains to be seen. So these 3 constituencies could be affected. Mapsa was a surprising result. Mapsa BJP is leading currently according to our survey. Even we were surprised, but it is by quite a margin. So it seems comfortable for Joshua currently. We were expecting in our previous rounds Sudhir had an advantage, but now it is Joshua. So Bardez is a place where BJP seems to be doing good and seems to be holding on to their tally and increasing it.
Yeah,
As per the current
see, this here, what basically what I understand is 2 parts. One is Michael and Michael in BJP, and one is post Michael in BJP. So a lot depends on Michael in Bardez at least.
As on today, yes.
As on today, 1. Number 2, a lot depends on Valpoe, Pore, depends on what is going to be husband, wife, XYZ. Now, what one thing I think all of us could possibly be, little bit sure of is Porvorim.
Yeah.
But besides that, the 6 seats of Bardez, which as of now, according to the survey, with BJP are all hanging in the air. Is this what we are saying? Gurudas Bab, starting with you.
नहीं बीजेपी के कोई यहाँ नहीं.
Rohan,
Ron Gowda is sure.
Yes. Anikon.
Michael, if he does not leave,
No, I'm talking post, in case.
if he leaves then
Yes.
it could be anything.
But in 6 seats?
Not all the seats.
Except one.
In 3,
How 3?
Sioli, Kalangut and Saligaon.
And
That's it. In 3 seats he can, and of course Mapsa, little bit of
Mapsa, he's got,
little bit of Mapsa.
Aldona and Thivi Congress
Aldona
is
and
not.
Aldona
TV,
given.
Michael has
So,
no.
no.
No, even
Aldona-
Congress also is not there. So
Not
it is
so much.
Yeah.
Thivi and Aldona are
Aldona
out.
and TV, Michael can't play any role.
so 4
Four.
in 4.
In 4,
Basically 4
he is
can
a
do.
factor.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
whether he is a winning factor or not, that we will see later.
Later, of course.
Okay.
But basically right now
Factor
we
he
can-
definitely is.
right now we are talking about as a factor.
Yeah,
And quite an
factor
important
he
factor. You
definitely
cannot,
is.
because
Factor he
besides the
definitely
fact
is.
that he's been there for so long, he's also got he has the, the M factor, and he knows a little bit of.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, being with the BJP,
It's different from being against.
being with the BJP, which has the machinery with it, okay, and spending money is one thing, and being in the opposition, spending money becomes difficult.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
but basically, it can possibly destroy both Congress and this and some
It can also be a situation for Michael where Bappa na Pudve na.
That is possible.
That
It is election, so that is why I talk about the surprise quotient
Fair
of this
enough.
election.
Fair enough.
I talk about the surprise quotient based on that.
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, guys, we have run out of time in this segment. So let us move on. Let us end this segment now on Bardez and part of the what is the survey.
Not
Thank
Goa.
you and keep watching Goa 365.